Hello everybody, Sarah here again from SH Millinery, and this video is how to change the shape of your hat block using household items. You know me, I like to use things that are around the house. Right, sometimes you don't just want a round shape, do you? You want a different shape. So for this project I'm using a plate, and I've tried to find one that's got quite a nice dome to it and not too many ridges and things on the base. Then what I've done is I've got a little piece of wood here that I use for the centre. It's got a bit of blue tack just to position it in the middle. Now you could use a small saucer, a small button block. In fact, just have a look around the house, see what you've got, just so that we have more of a shape there for the head for it to rest on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the centre, and I got this on a piece of cardboard. Now this is very heavy cardboard. This is what you use for mounting pictures, you know, picture frames. Use picture frames. So, oh, look, moved it about already. That wasn't good. So I'm using that, but you could use any heavy cardboard. So I've got my plate, I've got it roughly central, and now I'm going to make my shape. Now I'm using a French curve, but again, if you haven't got a French curve, you can just do it by eye, you can do it however you want. So I'm going to mark where my French curve, where I want it to be. So I want it to be there. Plate's moving about. Roughly there. So, right, okay. Bit fiddly this with a French curve. See if you've got the shape you want. I might round that off a little bit. And just so I've got something to cut out. Right, now I really just need this section here. So I'm going to just cut it across there and use that. Now, if you've got a pair of scissors that will cope with thick cardboard, great. If you haven't, you'll have to use a craft knife. I just used a bit that I had lurking in the cupboard, so it's a bit mucky, but that doesn't matter because it's got glue on it. And I think that's a red wine glass stain. It will do for what I want it for. So I'm going to cut my shape out. A bit more roundy at the end, I think. Let's have a look. Turn it over. Yeah, I want it more shaped. I mean, you can do any shape you like, but that's what I'm going for. Right. Now, the good thing about this heavy card is it will manipulate a bit. It will bend slightly, so you can curve it. And then it's going to go on there, but I'm going to attach it to the underside, so like so. Okay, if you need to trim the sides, then I am going to just trim that slightly. So I've got a better fit. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm going to cut the line here. In fact, we've got almost like a cap shape. Now we've got to attach it to the plate, and the best thing to do is just get some sticky tape, small sticky tape, just to get it in position, because I want it sort of up on the plate a bit. So stay. I'm just going to get it in position with some small bits and then put some thick tape on it. Just to stop it moving about. And then you need to look and see if you're happy with how this is going to work. So you might need to tape both sides. Oh, that tape's not very sticky. And bend it. But what I'm going to do is fix it first, and then I'll mess about with it. So I'm using some wide tape now, because I really need to keep this firmly in position. Right, so there I've got my extended shape, and what I'm going to do is cover the whole thing in cling film now. Now we need to prop this on something, like a bowl or a jug or a tin, so that we don't deform the shape. And I'm going to be using this flower pot. And funny enough, I'm going to make a hat with this flower pot, I've decided, so keep tuned, do subscribe, and you'll see all the other things I mess about with on here. Right, so there's my shape. And overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. Now, when we're going to cut some cinema to fit over the top. Now, you're going to need at least 2 pieces. And it's best, if possible, if you can do them at a slight angle. So I'm going to cut here. And I want another piece roughly the same size. And now I need to dampen the cinnamon just so I can stretch it over. So I'm just going to do that. When you dampen, you can either use a spray bottle, or I just ran mine under the tap just to give it some flexibility. Now this is quite stiff cinnamon, and I haven't added any stiffener. So I'm going to give it a bit of a stretch so that it's going to stretch over. And if possible, get your cinnamon going one way and then the other way, because you get a much better bond and a stronger hat. So that's going that way and that's going that way. And then I'm going to clip all the way around. Now, as normal, with most hat making, to get it even, you need to do your north, south, east and west first. Now, if you don't cover your cardboard enough, it will get damp and then it will misshape. So this is my most popular colour, this pale blue, and I've sold 4 hats just in the last 2 days of this colour. And I have to say, you can't buy it, I have to dye it this colour. But I have got a video on how to dye cinnamon. So this was white cinnamon that's been dyed with very small amounts of dye, because I wanted it really, really pale blue, like a powder blue. So here we have my hat on a bit of cardboard and a plate. And what I've got to do is get it off now. It's dry. Taking the clips off. Okay, move that out of the way. And now I've got to cut round the edge where it was clipped. Oh, got a bit of thread on my scissors. Again, don't use your nice dressmaking scissors for cutting straw. They'll be wrecked. Now you should have a good edge to follow where you've pulled it tight over the plate. So I've got my wire here. And I'm going to decide which way around this hat's going to go. It might be that way. Let's think. That way. Decide which is going to be sort of your back edge. Start there. Now I am going to zigzag on the machine with a large zigzag all the way around. So I've sewn my wire all around the edge with a zigzag stitch, and I broke my needle. And I have to say, if you're going to machine stitch millinery, you break a lot of needles. Anyway, so the wire's on. Right, so as you can see, I've stitched the bias all the way around the edge. Now, because it's wired, you can shape it. You can turn the edges up if you want. You can move that bit down. You can do what you like with it to turn it into the shape you want it to be. Now, if you steam it first and then shape it, you get an even better effect. What I'm going to do is cover this headband, stitch this at the right angle, which will probably be about that. Now remember, if you're stitching something to this, whatever your decoration is will have to cover your stitching. And I haven't worked out what I'm decorating this with yet, but I'm sure you'll have seen the photo at the beginning of the video and the photo at the end, and you'll have realised what I've decided to do. Okay, folks, hope that's been helpful, how to make other shapes that you might not have. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.